preferred genre, and that is RTS games. Real-time strategy. So many people make many of them, countless numbers of them, but none of them really hit the mark with me. They're just a fun little gimmick here and there. Some of the better ones for me is always Age of Mythology and Dawn of War. I'm gonna harp on these two count a lot of the time because they're both very close to what I want in a RTS game, where you, the player, are given things and you can make certain builds, but the two builds or three builds in line, yeah, it's a rock paper scissors, but in a factor where you're rewarded for tricking the enemy, like rusing them. And Dawn of War does that greatly, where, you know, we have the Imperial Guard, that there's a lot of nuance to them, but you have to plan it out just right and funnel the enemy where you need it to, and also having the economy. Obviously, the economy is where everything either breaks apart or you kind of, I don't know, you break apart. Either way, the real-time strategy genre is so diverse at this stage. We have so many ways we interpret real-time strategy. And real-time strategy for me is like base building. Games with base building are a big plus for me. Mechanics where there's a nuance to them. Like I said, Dawn of War is that type of game where you can play how you like within reason, if that makes sense. If you're playing against a human player, there are certain builds or certain things you need to strive for to squash your opponent. It's like an ultimate game of chess, but in Warhammer terms. It's like playing that thing in Star Wars, right? The space checkers. Not gonna lie, I would love to play that. It seems like such a fun and interesting take on a very old-timely medieval board game, essentially. But in Star Wars, I'm getting off track. When it comes to the RTS genre, nothing really tackles things how Shogun 2 does things. Now I'm going to Total War here, because that also counts as a real-time strategy. But even that, in itself, has trinkets of things that an RTS should have, such as the power of when you discover something new, a new unit, a new ability, a new something. But when you discovered something, you got like a bonus or something, you felt it the next battle you felt it. If you had like more morale in your infantry pikemen, you felt it. You felt them lasting longer in a fight. You can have your shogun or your command squad do what they need to do sometimes without having much of anything. RTS for me kind of dwindles. I tried to play the newer versions. I tried Warhammer, not 1, but also 2. I didn't cave for 3, and each time I played it, there was a problem. The problem was you have to do such repetitive things in order to be ahead of the pack. And what I mean by that is it becomes like a Final Fantasy game where you have to do the stupid things in order to make your dude powerful, like your agents, right? You have to have your agents do stuff, but you can't have your agent do nothing, otherwise they don't level up, right? So you create like a proxy where you just keep hitting them, or you keep raiding them with your subordinate over and over again. That's not fun, but you have to. It's a necessary evil, otherwise all the other NPCs are gonna outlevel you. It's sort of weird in a way. We can't make a vast empire. You have to play a certain way in Warhammer Total War. And I know people are probably going to disagree, but that's just how I feel whenever I play. High difficulty, low difficulty, you pick your poison. either way, if you don't build yourself out a certain way, it's over. And that's what's kind of kind of dumbed down for me. That's why I like games with a challenge. That's why I try to pursue interesting games, such as World War One title, which is very decent when the everything works as intended, of course. But nothing just kind of hits right. Age of Mythology, where you're building a civilization. You're building a base, but you're building a civilization at the same time, and trying to procure a god's, favor. And that's another whole aspect of RTS, which is interesting, the mystical aspect. There's not much mystical sort of titles out there, in the RTS way. I mean, I would love to have like a huge Minotaur beat the living crap out of a Medusa or something. And that brings me to like Black White. I mean, Rip Lionhead Studios, but geez, you were onto something special. I know a lot of people will say the first one's the better one, but I played Black White 2, and to me, that was the creme de la creme. If I could get access to that game again and play it on the current system I have now, oh my god, I would mod the shit out of it. I would mod the living, heck out of it, because it is an amazing game. I know people are gonna say it's not because you ripped this out, but the premise of it, the premise of being a good god or an evil god. An evil god commits conquest. A good god tries to convert those into the utopia. It's weird. And you can't say that some of the mission designs are, but the mission designs are pretty much a challenge because if you take the evil route, if you take evil good, you can be neutral. But there are some maps when you have to take the conquest route. You gotta just take land because there are certain just choke points where it's just better if you take those now, so that way they don't lead to your main city, and then you can kind of build it out from there, which is great because then you can kind of use your influence over there, which is also great. These certain little baby things that have been washed underneath history, you know? Think about, I mean, I know probably people don't know about Freedom Fighters, the IO interactive wonder from PS2 era before I went to Xbox. But yeah, that whole way of third person tactical RTS strategy sort of way. Where are games like that? Like, where are they? And you got Outpost Infinity going like the whole Fortnite route, where it takes like hours to get to the good stuff. You gotta keep. Another game that suffered that very thing? Metal Gear Solid Survive. That game suffered the same problem. It took you so long to get to the fun bit, the fun area. It just kind of killed their player base on the whole franchise at that point. But now they're bringing them back. I mean, think about it. Snake Eater. Man, even I'm excited for that new Snake Eater. I've never even played the original. I've even bought the trilogy. I haven't even beaten it yet. I haven't even tried. I tried the first one, got my ass spanked, and I'm like, eh. Once again, I'm off topic. Why do I go off topic? Because I'm just shooting my very line, the very essence of my soul here on this very open platform that we call YouTube. That is my piece. It's a piece I can make. That the RTS genre is so convoluted, and there's no innovation, information, and no information, and no innovation. That is the problem. Because no matter what goes forth, the campaigns are gonna play the same. There's never nothing that's gonna change or alternate them. Dawn of War kind of tried to do that with their campaign map, which, don't get me wrong, I miss those types. Battlefront 2, I mean, the older version with the conquest mode, where you can play against a buddy even? You can play against a buddy. Conquest mode. Like, doing planets, making fleets, fighting each other. The oh my God! Imagine that. Imagine if Dice took that concept and did their commander mode. Oh my God, that would have been the greatest. That would have been the innovation of RTS of a lifetime. That would have brought Dice back on the map, in my opinion. In the can you imagine? Can you imagine if they finally pulled it off, like how Eve Online tried to do it, but they failed? Star Wars, they could have did it. They when they had the license, they could have done it, but no, they just saw microtransactions. I don't understand that. Why the microtransactions with the motherfuckers? Just don't make sense. They charge $80 now, $80 for their experiences, and yet they still say it costs more money. Where you have everything at your disposal, you got all the computers and the technology, and you still say it still costs more. What? There's a conflict bump on that one. But that's just me. That is my take on the RTS wing, if that makes sense. And in saying that, I have nothing else to share. See you all on the next one.